And now we have the big phones from both Google and Samsung. It's stock Android versus Samsung One UI. It's a notch up against the Infinity O display, and it's one camera versus three. Hey, this is Pocketnow, and I'm Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? It's time to take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus against one of its main competitors, the Google Pixel 3 XL. In terms of design, I'm sure everyone is going to have differing opinions. When it comes to the display of the Pixel 3 XL though, I get it, there is that notch there, and I kind of wish it wasn't there either. But now we have the alternative to the notch in 2019, and that is the hole punch or the hole-in display, what Samsung calls the Infinity O. In either case, the cutout is nestled in the notification area, so it's not like it really gets in the way of anything unless you expand your content. In that case, you have to decide if you want a hole or a frown cutting in. Aside from this small loss in screen real estate, the S10's display is just so good. It renders colors vividly, and Samsung One UI looks great on it. The Pixel 3 XL display isn't bad in comparison, but it has one major flaw of low brightness. You have to really crank it up in broad daylight. The rest of these phones are basically glass on glass, and I honestly can't really knock either phone when it comes to looks. They both feel pretty light and easy to handle aside from their larger size, so one-handed use takes a hit no matter which one you pick. A quick note on design, this glass-on-glass white Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus looks really dope, but it can slip about in the hand a bit too easily. In order to give it a little bit more texture, a little bit more grip if you will, and also a completely different look, you can check out some D-brand skins. They have them available now over on their website along with a new pattern called Swarm. You can check those out in the links in the description down below. It's no surprise that Samsung gives you a lot more to work with on the hardware front. There's a headphone jack, wireless and reverse wireless charging, expandable storage, and even an extra button for Bixby. On the other hand, you can squeeze the Pixel to trigger Assistant and then use the phone like a little Google Home when it's sitting on a Pixel Stand wireless charger. I do have to admit that the ultrasonic fingerprint reader underneath the screen of the Galaxy S10 is good, but I found that the rear-mounted reader of the Pixel 3 XL and other phones that have it there are more reliable in actually reading my finger. Thankfully, the face unlock of the Samsung phone is pretty quick despite not being the most secure way of unlocking the device if you have the fast unlock option enabled. Performance-wise, obviously the Galaxy S10 Plus is going to have the top-notch specifications as it has the most updated specs as well. The Pixel 3 XL is not really a slouch though, but that 4GB of RAM is starting to feel pretty outdated, and honestly, it's getting tested by a lot of power multitaskers. Games on the Galaxy S10 Plus last way longer in the background, for example, and even then they run beautifully. Speaking of power users though, those looking for long battery life definitely will want to go for the Galaxy S10 Plus, which sports 4100 mAh over the 3430 in the Pixel 3 XL. With the Pixel, I've had plenty of times where I needed to plug it in or do wireless charging before the end of my workday, but with the Galaxy S10 Plus, I've been able to recreate over 8 hours of screen on time on a number of occasions. Stock Android is properly feature-packed and has all of the tools that pretty much any user needs for a good daily experience, not to mention the inherent benefits of using a Google device, like unlimited storage in Google Photos. But credit where credit's due, Samsung One UI is a leap forward in what we used to call TouchWiz. It has so far been a good daily experience, even with redundant applications like Calendar for Calendar, Bixby for Google Assistant, Gallery for Google Photos, and so on. It's not actually a bad thing that Samsung makes their own versions of these experiences. As a matter of fact, on the Galaxy S10 Plus, you might need to use a mixture of the two in order to get the complete and full experience. For example, Samsung Keyboard gives you access to AR emojis. The Smart Select and the Edge panels grant customizable screenshots and GIF creation. And honestly, the way that Samsung handles full screen gestures is simply better than the new stock Android mix of presses and weird swipes. Stock Android is dope, don't get me wrong, but my time with Samsung One really shows me that the OEMs can definitely add in features that I didn't even know I wanted until I used them. And finally, we have the cameras. There are some obvious differences between these two packages, with the Pixel 3 adding just a wide-angle selfie camera on the front, and the Galaxy S10 Plus totaling 3 on the back and 2 on the front via an added depth sensor. Now here's the thing, we all know that Google is all about the software processing of its photos and it leads to great results. This is true for portrait cutouts, contrast, and color in all photos, including ones from the rear shooter. The Pixel can snap better photos with one camera on the rear than most phones can do with two, but the Galaxy S10 Plus, it puts up a proper fight. What the Galaxy S10 Plus provides way more than the Pixel is versatility. You get a telephoto and a wide-angle lens on the rear, with the wide angle providing quite literally a whole new perspective. The only huge omission here is a lack of a proper night mode. The Pixel's night sight is almost like magic. It makes something out of pretty much nothing. So let's put it this way. The Pixel 3 XL is simply a beast for good-looking, ready-to-post photos. The same can be said for the Galaxy S10 Plus, but you might need to put in a little extra work to get the final desired result. But that's the point. With the Samsung contender, you might have more than you might end up using, but that also means you probably have everything that you would need. The Galaxy S10 is also a great tool for videographers, as you can use any of the cameras to great effect because the video processing leads to sharp, vivid video. There's even a super steady mode that makes super stabilized but ultimately much softer video. The Pixel 3 isn't bad in its main camera for video, but the front wide-angle lens gets stifled by a lack of stabilization and subpar video quality. Alright, there you have it. Pixel 3 owners, are you feeling the Galaxy envy? Samsung had to nail it on phone number 10, and I really think they've hit almost all the marks. The Galaxy S10 line sets the bar for 2019, but that doesn't mean the Pixel 3 isn't still a viable tool, especially for shutterbugs. I want to know what you all think about this comparison. Which one of these two phones would you choose? Get into the comment sections, let your voices be heard, and let's have that discussion. For now, though, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and subscribe to both of our channels. You can subscribe to Pocketnow right here where you're watching, but also you can head over to youtube.com/Joshua Vergara so you can see what else I'm up to as well. But from there, thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you in our next video.